Agriculture is the backbone of the Kenyan economy, and for many farmers and a good number of business people in the food sector, organic farming is not just a trend, but a return to nature. This is the Groundbreaker podcast series powered by Take 6 Africa. I am Nancy Nalima, and today on the show, I will be speaking to Martin Joroge and Vinay Bhatt, who are the founders of Ahava Organics. We talk organic farming and what the future in business of food looks like. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you, Nilima.
Right, and let's talk about food and organic agriculture to be specific.
Sure.
Let's dive straight into Ahava Organics. Maybe, Martin, you can say exactly what you do within Ahava and now what products Ahava gives into the market.
Yeah, I'm a organic certification consultant and expert. And Ahava covers everything from production, that's from inputs, up to marketing. We consider ourselves a Swiss knife when it comes to organic consulting within the continent of Africa.
Right.
Yes.
And maybe, but when did Ahava Organics start and why deal with the organic farming, organic agriculture?
Ahava Organics basically started about 4.5 years ago, and it started off as an agribusiness, but from there it has evolved now, and more partners have been brought in to change the perspective towards organic agriculture and the overall solution that it requires.
When we talk about organic agriculture, organic farming, it is a farming that is natural, products that are natural without any additives.
Precisely that.
Yeah.
Precisely that. Organic agriculture is basically farming that utilizes natural solutions when it comes to production and growth. You look at natural cycles of life, you look at natural remedies for pests and diseases, you look at even when it comes to breeding and other aspects of production. You want to keep the food as safe as possible. You also want to make sure that you maintain the environmental sustainability in your process. You're also looking at health and nutrition from the point of view of the consumer as well as from the point of view of the environment. And organic is usually governed by several principles, but mainly it's usually the principle of health, the principle of ecology, the principle of fairness, as well as the principle of environmental sustainability. Yeah.
We know that there are non-organic farmers or food sellers and everything. So, Vinay, for you, then getting into the Kenyan market, what was the experience like? What was the response?
That's been a very interesting journey, because what we've come to realize, the sensitization of the consumers in the Kenyan market has been very low in the past, but now it is picking up. And getting in, there was a lot of misconception people had about organic farming.
Right.
In a sense, they used to think everything in Kenya produced is organic, until they were educated that no, the amount of chemicals which are being used, especially the HHP, the highly hazardous pesticides,
Right.
it changed perspective of people, and now they're actually realizing what is the difference between organic and inorganic produce. So the acceptance levels are going up really strongly.
Okay. And I know there are those organic farmers markets.
Yeah.
So how is Ahava Organics playing into all that?
Ahava is now working especially in terms of certification, capacity building of the our farmers, and we are trying to actually link the farmers directly with the customers, be it through a base or media of the markets or directly.
Right. And Martin, so why is certification very vital?
Yeah, it's, as you said, it's easy for you. In Kenya, we are not really protected by the regulatory environment in the sense that you can buy a product that you don't really know where it came from and just call it organic, and nobody will challenge you on it.
So you wouldn't really know.
You won't really know.
Yeah.
Won't really know. And there's no push to have that done. That's why when it comes to voluntary certification, it's really important. And for farmers who are actually practicing organic, you find them going out and seeking this kind of certification because they know it provides the guarantee and the authenticity with their consumers. And you find that consumers are also really keen on identifying places where they can buy organic food. Because anywhere we've seen in Kenya, it's not really that, let me say, people are not that genuine and honest. Some people will try to cut corners here and there as long as they are able to make a buck. As well, we also not looking inwards as well, looking outwards, because export markets are really good when it comes to organic, because that's where more developed countries, more developed consumer bases are able to sort of demand for these products. And because there's a, let me say, Africa enjoys a lot of sunshine, enjoys really good soils, really good production environments.
Right.
We are a very big producer of organic products. And for us to access some of these European, the US, the Asia markets, we really need to get certified. And that's where I believe the biggest push for organic has always been export markets. But for us, we also look at it as an opportunity to also grow local markets. In the East African region, we've come up with what's called the East Africa Organic Product Standards.
Okay.
This is a standard that governs organic production within East African territory. So it's represented by what's called the Kilimo Organic Mark. So if you see something called Kilimo Organic, you'll know that's certified organic for East Africa. But you also find a lot of the farmers who grow for export market, they also bring it to the local market. So you still get a healthy dose of, diversity of products. And nowadays with certification, especially for the kind of work we do, we also build capacity for groups of farmers to be certified. Instead of going to get a company to certify them, they can actually engage in what's called participatory guarantee systems. This is a group of 5 to 15 farmers. They say, okay, we are going to be growing our food organically, and this is how we are going to be growing it. And they check on each other. The Nyumba Kumi concept. They make sure that, okay, my neighbor is not spraying, I'm not spraying. And they have something and it's really cheap for them, and it's really accessible. So when they bring their products to market, it becomes much cheaper for the consumer as well, because they're not really paying a high cost of certification. The same case also applies but now on a more corporate level, you find companies that are doing large-scale organic farming, but they contract multiple smallholder farmers to do that for them. So they also group them up. They build what's called an internal control system. And from this system is what they try and ascertain that all the farmers are following organic production methods. They are keeping their records. They are not applying any chemicals or any unallowed substances on their farms. They are treating their livestock well. They are treating their soils well, because all of these things end up contributing to the certification. I'd like to mention one thing. When it comes to organic, because that's my domain, when it comes to organic, it's not a product certification. So when you think about a tomato, you can have two tomatoes. One could be certified and the other one could not be certified. If you test them, you might find the organic one definitely will not have the chemicals. You can test the other one, also doesn't have the chemicals, but only one can be certified because it has gone through the process of organic production. So it's not a product certification, it's a process certification.
Okay.
And then,
so this whole process has to check out before it is certified.
Exactly. That's why we call it just food. Justice. There's an element of justice. And that's a key difference that has to be really understood when you're thinking about organic and the other non-organic food. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And Vinay, how did this come to be? Were you a passionate organic farmer, just passionate about organic food? Was he as well? How did you guys then come together and say, now Ahava Organics?
Basically, if you talk about me personally, I've been very passionate about organic foods, especially from the time we learned that, food is medicine. And then we realized that then why are people falling sick so often? And we came to realize the direct connection between food and organic, and the chemicals and the negative health impact. So that is what drew my passion towards organic. And then we met over an organic forum many years ago, and that's where we connected, and our energies just synergized to say, we're on the right path and let's take it to the next level.
As we keep the conversation going, there is a notion that organic food can break your back in terms of money. Like you have to dig deeper into your pocket to afford organic food.
That's a legitimate, actually. That's a legitimate concern that's there. And what you tend to want to think about is value. When you talk about a value argument, it's a totally different thing, because here you have a food that's building your health, maintaining your environment, making sure that tomorrow you have something. But then let's go back to health. What premium would you put on your health?
Your price tag,
In Kenya, we are told you're just one sickness away from
poverty.
So what premium would you put on your health? You know, that's a fundamental question that you really need to answer. And on the other end is, with organic, you also look at the farmers. Every day we are told that farmers are being exploited by middlemen, by other actors. So where are we bringing this fairness to the producer? Because all this we have, all this, you know, you look at Nairobi. Nairobi is a huge city, millions of people.
Right.
Who are feeding these people? It's the farmers. But it's the farmers who are the poorest in Kenya. Why? So those are some fundamental questions that we really need to dig deep and ask ourselves.
Okay. And what about, say, the first maybe client that Ahava Organics go to maybe talk about the experience, Vinay, and also the impact?
I mean, if we go back to one of the first clients, was like a group of farmers, as I mentioned earlier, in which now you're able to actually impact multiple smallholder farmers under that program. And we've seen them transform their agricultural practices, to have better agricultural practices, to have more records, more systems. So this is what we call capacity building. That's the impact we brought to them, that they could actually be accountable to themselves, and then that is what was building the trust with their customers. And based on that, now there is a direct KYC happening between who grew your food, who is consuming your food, and that is building confidence. That was the impact of that engagement.
Looking at the market, what would you say is a major challenge for Ahava Organics?
The major challenge has always been the conversion. And this is I think with most industries, where you have a really good product, and because our target, at least for now, our target clients are companies that are having what's called grower groups, internal control systems. These are companies that have thousands of farmers who are looking to get certified so that they're able to sort of access the export market.
Right.
So you do have the links, you do have your pitches, you do have your, you have your product ready, but the conversion rate between actually pitching and getting the final, final contract, an ongoing contract, that's also, that's a challenge.
Yeah.
The other thing is also understanding the problem, because when you're in business, your client might not really understand the value that you bring with your product. Some things are either, might seem easy to do because it's your experience, it's your expertise that's coming through and seems effortless. And people feel, oh, it's too easy. Then it should be cheaper. Yeah, but this is a whole, expertise. We have, if you look at the pedigree that we bring on board, we have what you call regulatory experience, we have business experience, we have what you call certification experience. That's what I bring in. And you see, this is over, let me say, it's over 45 years of experience that you bring to one client. And that's, It's really hard to cost that
Right.
at the end of the day. And this is a people product. It's a person-to-person product. You have to really bring it to the level that your client understands, and then the systems that you want to build into them, they feel regular, but the way they are organized are actually quite complex in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
And what about for climate smart farmers? Farmers who are trying to get into that space, and they have maybe been practicing non-organic farming, and they're now looking to get into the organic farming. How then do you come in to assist?
Basically, you brought a very important point, climate smart agriculture, and that is what the world is driving towards, or is the need of the hour. One of the biggest problems if we say in climate smart is greenhouse gas emissions or global warming. Inorganic farming contributes towards global warming, in a sense, from how the product is derived, how it's applied, and how its effects are to the environment.
Right.
To the contrary, the organic farmer is a big boon to the climate smart movement because there you are now doing carbon farming. When you're farming, you're building the soil microbes, which are then responsible for reducing the use or eradicating the use of chemical fertilizers because of all the solubilizing and mobilizing of the minerals which are in the ground. So you are reducing the direct impact and effect of chemical fertilizers. Also, it is building soil carbons. So by doing that, they are now really promoting the climate smart agriculture, the organic farmers.
Right. And if there are farmers who are trying to go organic, how can they reach you?
Our profile, you'll find it at findorganic.africa. That's our platform where we connect different actors within the organic movement in Kenya and in Africa on a similar platform, and that's where you get most of the expertise, a lot of expertise. We are also a member of the Kenya Organic Agriculture Network. We are a member of the International Federation of Organic Agriculture Movement. So once you go into those particular platforms, you still find us well represented, and you can find us and our expertise over there.
And empowering farmers and farmers who want to sell more organic products. Are there any other ways that you empower them as well?
One of the other ways is market linkages, and that is purely because of the network that we have and accrediting them. So first is by accrediting them so the buyers have confidence, and then based on that, we train them on getting the high quality and the highest quality of inputs to our output, and that we help the market.
Okay. And now the money question, profitability of the business. How would you rate it, Martin?
We are quite liquid in the sense that once you look at the inputs that we bring in, it's expertise. This is expert knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Expert knowledge in terms of scaling it and replicating it is actually quite easy because we have built processes into the trainings, we have built processes into the digitization of certification. These are things that can be easily upscaled.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we are heavily focusing on export and export-oriented companies that are looking to convert to organic and tap into organic markets.
Right.
So, and you find that we consider them currently high-value clients because they understand the margins they expect to make once they transition to organic.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that we are heavily capacitated around all the different organic standards. You have the EU, the European Union,
Right.
2018 848 standards. You have the United States National Organic Product Standards. You have the Japanese agricultural standards. You have the Chinese. So all these we offer for them. And you have a composite. You can have a composite program where you encompass all those standards. And as we move on, we've also, with the different partnerships that we have, we are going into agronomic support. As I said, one of the key challenges in the organic movement is you get a solution here, you get a solution there, you get a solution here.
Right.
But are those solutions compatible with one another?
Mm-hmm.
It's a big problem. So what you are doing, as you say, you are a Swiss knife of solutions. We bring in all these solutions, we give you a package, a bouquet of services that you need to, that you can pick from.
And for the certification, then, is it a one-off? Do people renew the certification in how long?
Yeah, good question. Organic certification is an annual certification. So we don't certify ourselves, but we guide you through the certification process. So as with most professional, we understand most professional certifications, there has to be an annual subscription and also what you call professional development aspects.
Right.
So if, for example, you have your farm, you're growing organically. Today, you have gotten your organic certificate. For you to be certified next year, you have to show a number of things. Today, you started off from the baseline.
Right.
Yeah, you are very compliant, you're growing very well. Next year, when you're coming to be certified, your auditor will ask you, okay, how many trainings have you taken your farm staff through?
Mm-hmm.
That's a gap.
Okay.
So there's an element of continuous development. What other courses have you done in the furtherance of organic production?
Right. And then, so, Vinay, how do you stay updated with the, the many trends within this space of organic farming as well?
Yes. So some of the tools are you need to be attending a lot of different conferences, a lot of different trainings which happen. We members of like societies we mentioned, we are members with the Kenya Organic COAN, we are members with the different local, and we're also updating ourselves with the international certifying bodies and the standards and the courses they offer. So it's a continuous process. So we have a team which is all the time updating themselves.
And as we close, maybe for each of you, I'll start with you, Martin. As you reflect on the journey, what has been the biggest lesson that you can share today?
Okay, for me is collaboration over competition. So even the way we came together, I am a farmer, he is a farmer. We would, on another platform, we would be competing for the same market.
Right.
But we saw there's an opportunity to collaborate. I bring a special set of skills, he brings a special set of skills, and you're able to see okay, I can actually get to the next level by actually collaborating.
Right. And Vinay, for you, what stands out in this journey?
The most important aspect is that sustainability, the way we are heading it as a country or as a society, and the challenges we are facing in terms of nutrition, in terms of food security has been the biggest issue. So my take is that to have or to achieve that, we will need to kind of go organic. And what I learned is if we take care of nature, nature is going to take care of us. So that has been my biggest lesson. And especially for our future generations, because as much as we're doing it for ourselves now, we still have to think for the future generations to come.
Okay. Yeah. Very well said. And I know this is an ongoing conversation. We're talking about the food on our plate and having it as safe as possible. So thank you for being part of this conversation. And let's look at what we can do more, even out there.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, interesting conversation.
Yeah. And thank you so much for being part of this conversation. This is the Groundbreaker podcast series powered by Take 6 Africa. Today we have been talking about organic farming and the business part of it. I have been speaking to Martin Joroge and Vinay Bhatt, who are the founders of Ahava Organics. Very interesting conversation, and let's keep talking across all our social media platforms. This is the Groundbreaker podcast series powered by Take 6 Africa. I am Nancy Nalima, and until next time, goodbye.